Thanks for checking out Horseplay Hobbies. Today we're going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to showcase my NES collection and we're going to discuss them and some of the memories that go along with these. So here's my collection in its entirety. It's not very large, but I've hand selected these based on games that I had when I was a kid and also games that some of my friends had, games I've always wanted. So I'm just going to go through them today and share them with you. Here we have Punch-Out! This is the one featuring Mr. Dream. Here we have Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! Essentially the same game. This one's featuring Mike Tyson at the end instead of Mr. Dream. I had hours and hours of fun with this as a kid and still love it as an adult. WWF WrestleMania. Not an example of their finest wrestling game ever, but it had to start from somewhere. Here you have Hulk Hogan tearing his shirt off. Can't go wrong with that. Some of my sports titles, we got Double Dribble Basketball, pretty solid title made by Konami. Base Wars, this game actually has a battery save pack in it. In this game, your robot's playing just a standard game of baseball. I remember one of the cool things in this is if you hit the robot with 4 pitches, that robot would explode and be out of the game. Another sports title, we got Hoops basketball game. Actually, I haven't played this one, so I can't really comment too much on it. It's more of a recent pickup. Next, we have a pair of ice hockey games. We have Blades of Steel and Ice Hockey for NES. Blades of Steel is actually a pretty underrated game. You can still pick this one up pretty cheap. I just got this at one of our local retro stores for about $5. Ice Hockey is a solid title also. You can still pick that up around $5 also. Castlevania. One of the best games on the system. If you haven't played this, you must have been living under a rock. Castlevania 2. I wish I could say this is one of the best games on the system. It's still pretty solid in comparison to a lot of games, but in the Castlevania franchise, especially on the NES, it leaves a little bit to be desired. It's kind of a little bit of an RPG element to it in regards that you have to select things, and it's complex to say the least. Still a good game though. Castlevania 3 on the other hand, totally awesome. I remember picking this up in the 5th grade and lost it along the years and just recently picked it up again and I'm really enjoying this game. Zelda 1 and Zelda 2, both gold carts. They did make both of these on silver carts also, but being the baller that I am, I would like to go gold. Zelda 1's usually the favorite of most people. Zelda 2 has some different attributes to it. They're both good. Zelda 2 has a little bit of side-scrolling in it. It's a lot tougher than Zelda 1, but I just recently beat this Zelda 1 for the first time a few weeks ago, and I'm on the second quest. Very proud to say that. Ninja Gaiden, or Gaiden, depending on how you pronounce it, 1 and 2 here. Both excellent games. Both very difficult games also. Side-scrolling ninja games. Definitely worth picking up. Maniac Mansion is a difficult game to put into a category. It's kind of a point-and-click game, I suppose you'd describe it as. You select a couple characters and you're going through somewhat of like a haunted mansion almost, trying to solve puzzles. It's pretty cool. You can still pick this game up, maybe around $20. I think it's worth your while, but it has a little bit different gameplay. Maybe I'll put a video out dedicated to this one to showcase how it goes. One of the favorites on the console, DuckTales, made by Capcom. Can't go wrong with Disney games made by Capcom, generally speaking, for the NES. They made a whole bunch of them. I only have a couple, unfortunately. DuckTales is awesome game. You play as Scrooge McDuck in this, and you jump off of a pogo stick, essentially, and that's the main method of attacks. Tiny Toon Adventure is another side-scrolling cutesy game. Pretty solid title. A couple more Disney Capcom games. Just recently picked up Darkwing Duck and The Little Mermaid. Darkwing Duck's basically Mega Man as a duck. If you've played any of the Mega Man games, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's an awesome game that unfortunately is going up in price a little bit. It'd be worth picking up while you can still get it on the $30 to $40 range. Here we have some of the older releases for the console, Kung Fu and Kid Icarus. Kung Fu is a pretty cool game. Very, very basic though. You can still get that on the cheap. Kid Icarus, another one of the older launch titles for the console. Very solid game. Excite Bike. Very cool. The concept of this is to just win motorcycle races, and the main thing you don't want to do in this game is overheat your engine. You have a lower throttle button and a higher throttle button, essentially, and you can actually do a course builder in this and make your own jumps. Pretty cool. Metroid. This is where it started. I don't really have to say too much about this game. If you haven't played it, it's definitely worth adding to your collection. This is where the term Metroidvania came from. Well, at least the Metroid portion of Metroidvania. Got some Ninja Turtle games. It seems like they were on just about every console back then. Here's the first Ninja Turtles game. It's cool. I have to admit though, this is mostly nostalgia. It's a really tough game. Turtles 2 though, the arcade game, this is a beat 'em up. This is vastly better. Can't go wrong with this. It's fast paced, lots of fun. Turtles 3 is another beat 'em up game, similar to Turtles 2. Got a couple other enhancements in this game. Nothing too much crazier versus Turtles 2. This one goes for a little bit more money, but it's a heck of a lot of fun. Star Tropics 1 and 2. I can't talk too much to either of these. These are recent additions into my own collection. Didn't have these as a kid. These are both on the to play soon list, and I can report back to you then. Here we have a couple of monster games. Monster Party and Fester's Quest. Monster Party is vastly better than Fester's Quest. I will tell you that much. If you haven't played either one, go with the Monster Party. We got Gotcha. Haven't played this game in quite some time. I believe it's a light gun game though. Make sure you have the old school television if you want to try to play this game. A couple of racing games. RC Pro-Am. Total classic for the NES and Days of Thunder. Got to go with RC Pro-Am here by quite a large margin if you were to get one. Top Gun, not even going to talk about it. Batman. Pretty solid game. A lot of people put this on their top 10 best games for NES. I could totally see why. It does have a little bit of a cool jumping effect where you can bounce off of walls, kind of like in Ninja Gaiden if you're familiar with that. You're punching as your main attack, but then you come across other weapons that you can use, and you collect ammo. It's a pretty good title. Has good cutscenes in it also. I had a couple of movie license games, Roger Rabbit and Karate Kid. They're playable games, but I can't honestly say I'd rush out and pick these up if you don't already have them. Classic car driving game, Spy Hunter. I remember playing this game in the arcade as a young child, and the NES version does its justice pretty well. It is a solid game. You can still pick it up probably under 10 bucks. This is more of a recent addition to my collection. Haven't played it yet. That's on the to-do list. Another Capcom game, codename Viper. Pretty cool game. It's a side-scrolling shooter similar to Contra, but with a little bit more of a puzzle effect to it. In this game, you can hide behind doors as the enemy's coming across and sneak out of the doorway then and go about attacking. These two games don't need much introduction, Contra 1 and Contra 2, also known as Super C. Everybody pretty much so knows the famous Konami code to get the 30 extra lives in Contra 1. I think there's a code you can use to get 10 extra lives in Super C. Super C is just more of the original Contra. If you enjoyed that one, you're going to love Super C. I do feel like Super C is more difficult though than Contra. If I had to pick one, I'd have to go with the original Contra. Shatterhand, somewhat of a hidden gem. It's becoming a lot more common with videos on YouTube. This game is kind of similar to Batman in regards that punching is your main attack, but you come across some power-ups and you kind of have like a little robotic sidekick that helps you out get through the levels. Awesome game though. Unfortunately, it does cost a little bit of money. Pick it up while you can still get it as cheaply as possible. You won't regret this one. My Mega Man game collection. I only have half the games for the NES, but we got Mega Man 2, 3, and 6. Mega Man 2 is definitely my favorite out of the Mega Man series of games. I know that a lot of you guys are really good at Mega Man. Mega Man 2 is pretty much the only game I've been able to play successfully. It seems like they update each Mega Man. You get a couple more features that you can do, slide attacks, stuff like that. Basically, you fight a series of robotic bosses, and then you get to a Dr. Wily stage. It's an awesome series, though. Gotta go with Mega Man 2 as my favorite, though, out of the 6. Kirby's Adventure. This could possibly be my favorite game for the NES. I'd have to think long and hard on what that is, but Kirby's Adventure is absolutely terrific. If you like Mario Brothers, you're gonna love Kirby's Adventure. Your main method of attack is to suck up bad guys, and then you swallow them and you gain whatever sort of attacking ability that they had to use against the other baddies. You really can't go wrong with this. You can probably pick this up maybe around 20 bucks. It'd be the best 20 bucks you spend on the console. A couple of Mario Brothers games, Mario 2 and Mario 3. These don't really need a whole heck of a lot of introduction. Mario 3's got to be one of the best games on the console, if not the best. A lot of people do put this at the top. It's absolutely terrific. I wish that there was a way to save this game, though, on the NES. My family has a tradition on Christmas Eve. We see how late we can stay up and see if we can beat Mario 3 in one sitting. And we're still trying. We'll put it that way. We're still trying. Christmas is right around the corner. We're going to do it again. And to round out the collection, I have a couple puzzle games, Dr. Mario and Tetris. Tetris is an absolutely awesome game. Dr. Mario is absolutely awesome, too. My wife loves playing Dr. Mario. I swear she cheats at it somehow because I typically cannot get an edge on her. Tetris, on the other hand, I think I still have the edge on that. Thanks for watching this video today. I'm very happy I was able to show you my small collection of NES games. Myself and my family have been having an awesome time collecting these games. Some of them we've had, like I said, as a child. Some of them I've had for the first time as an adult. But it's an absolute blast. Some of these games we get locally at some of our retro video game shops. Some of them we get at flea markets, some at yard sales, and some of them we do get online, eBay, and things of that nature. If any of you have any other games that are kind of hidden gems or ones that you want to share with me that you think would be awesome additions. I'd love to hear about it. Just leave a comment below. And as always, thanks for watching Horseplay Hobbies. We'll see you next time.